Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to find the exact value of cosine 112.5. So the key words here is exact value. Otherwise, we could just plug this into our calculator and go cosine 112.5 and say, okay, here's my answer. Problem with that is you're going to get this repeated or this long decimal, and it's just not an exact value because the decimal goes on forever. And that would just not work. So what we need to do is we are going to have to use the half angle identity to do this because unfortunately 112.5 is not on our unit circle anywhere. So let's go ahead and let's figure out how can I rewrite this so that it's in the terms of alpha over 2, and then that way I can just plug it into my half angle formula, which would be plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine alpha all over 2. So to figure this out, I need to figure out what alpha over 2 is. Well, alpha over 2 needs to equal the 112.5. So I just need to multiply both sides by 2. And now my alpha equals 225. And lo and behold, that is way more convenient because 225, that sounds very familiar, is on our unit circle. So now we just plug this in. Cosine of 225 over 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine 225 over 2. And then we can go over to our unit circle. I have one handy here from our Canvas course. 225, lo and behold, is right here. 5 pi over 4, 225 degrees. My cosine is always the x. So it's always the first value here, negative root 2 over 2. So we're going to have to plug in negative root 2 over 2 for where we have cosine of 225. So now we have plus or minus the square root of 1 minus root 2 over 2, all divided by 2. So let's go ahead, we're going to combine my like terms here so that we can divide by 2 there. So we're going to get doing like denominators, 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2 divided by 2. Isn't this getting nice and messy with all the fractions? But let's just clean this up. We're going to get 2 minus root 2 over 2 and then divided by 2. So dividing by 2, excuse me, is the same as multiplying by 1/2. So then this becomes 2 minus root 2 over 2 times 2 is 4. We're going to go ahead and break up my square root. Square root of 2 minus root 2. Isn't that lovely? A root and a root, but just go with it. Over root 4. Yay, there's a root I know I can do. So plus or minus 2 minus root 2 all over 2. So yes, this is my final answer, except for, wait a minute, I have a plus and a minus. Which one is it? It's either one or the other. So let's go back to the picture of the unit circle. I know that 112 is past 90, but before 180. That means I will be in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, what is the sign of SIGN, not SIN, the SIGN, what's my sign, plus or minus, for cosine in quadrant 2? In quadrant 2, if you remember, it is negative. So we don't want the plus, we want the negative. So my final answer here is negative 2 minus root 2 over 2. So this right here is my final answer, and this is an exact value. When on a calculator, we're going to get these crazy decimals. So that's it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Please email me if you guys are having any struggles whatsoever, and I will try to help you out as best I can. Okay, bye.